Hello, students. Welcome to our polity session. In this session, we will discuss the third part of our Indian Constitution, which deals with the fundamental right of Indian Constitution. In previous class, we have discussed part 1 and part 2 of Indian Constitution, and in this chapter series, we will discuss part 3 of Indian Constitution. The Part 3 of Indian Constitution originally deals with the 7 fundamental rights, which are now 6. So basically, the Part 3rd of Indian Constitution deals with the fundamental right of Indian Constitution. Originally, there were 7 fundamental rights, but as of now, there are 6 fundamental rights. So what happened with what fundamental right? Actually, we removed a fundamental right known as right to property, which was explained in Article 31. So originally, we have right the equality between Article 14 to 18. We have right to freedom between 19 to 22. We have right against exploitation between 23 to 24. Right to freedom of religion 25 to 28. Cultural and educational right 29 to 30. Right to constitutional remedies Article 32. And there was also a fundamental right known as right to property, which was explained in Article 31. This right was removed by our fundamental right on 44th of Amendment 1978 and was added to the Article 308. So this is not a fundamental right as of now. It is a legal right in India. So originally, this is our part 3rd of Indian Constitution Polity series. In this session, we will discuss about the fundamental right of Indian Constitution. In this series, we will discuss at presently 6 fundamental rights, but originally there were 7 fundamental rights. A fundamental right was removed, which was known as right to property under Article 31. In which amendment this part was removed? And according to our Constitutional Amendment Act 44 in 1978, right to property or Article 31 was removed. It was added to Article 300A as a legal right. So right to property is a legal right, not a fundamental right for Indians. Why the right to property was removed? Basically, this fundamental right was very controversial. During the Indira Gandhi time, when Indira Gandhi was Prime Minister of India, major cases were registered related to right to property by normal people or by the people of India against the central government. If there is a central government and he wants to do infrastructure development in India or any country, if there is a infrastructural development, if a country wants to do a infrastructural development, then in which he wants to make a road or a railway project, so this country may basically pass the project by public property. That time government can take public property under Article 300A, but public can challenge on the basis of legal aspect, not the basis of fundamental right. Clear? So in this session, we will discuss these 6 fundamental rights. Let's start with our first fundamental right. Before this, we have to understand what is Article 12 and what is Article 13. Actually, the first fundamental right is right to equality, which is explained in Article 14 to 18. So there are 7 fundamental rights, but initially there are 6 fundamental rights. The first right to equality, is started between Article 14 to 18. But our fundamental right is started by Article 12. So what does Article 12 and Article 13 says? Let's understand in this slide. Article 12 explain the definition of state. State means, first understand the Article 13. Article 13 of Indian Constitution says, if there is any law in India or if there is any pre-existing law in India who violate our fundamental rights would be declared as void or will be declared as void. Means if there is a law in India or there is any pre-existing law in India, through which the fundamental right of a person is abolished, then this law will be declared void in India. Or the Article 13 says if any state make any law which abolish fundamental right will be declared as void. So Article 13 says if a state is making law, what does it state means? State means state government. It is talking about the government of the state, the government of the nation, and any other body. So the definition of a state is explained in Article 12. Article 12 says state means including the government and parliament of India, including the government and legislature of each state and all local or other authorities within the territory of India or under the control of government of India. Means if the state word will be used in any article of the fundamental right, then this state refers to any central government, any state government, any local authority, or any semi-government body which is managed by government of India. So Article 13 says if any state make any law, means if any state government make any law, if any central government make any law, if any local authority make any law which violate our constitutional fundamental right, then this law will be counted as void. So Article 12 explain about the definition of a state which include state, central and any local government, and Article 13 says that any law in force in India before the commencement of constitution which is inconsistently with the provision of fundamental rights shall be extent of such inconsistency be void. So this law will be counted as void. Now start with our first fundamental right, which is right to equality. In this fundamental right, Article 14 to 18 explain about the equalities. So we will discuss about the equalities only in the fundamental right between 14 to 18. What does Article 14 says? Article 14 says equality before law. Equality before law matlab means basically equal protection of law, or we can say law is equal for all the people. If a person who is in higher post in India commit a crime, or if a normal person commit a crime, then law will punish equally for both the person. So this is Article 14 say equality before law, that every person is equal in context of law. Clear? What does Article 15 says? Prohibition of discrimination on the ground of religion, race, caste, sex or place of the birth. Means any state shall not discriminate with its citizen on the basis of religion, race, caste, place of birth, etc. What is the major difference between Article 14 and 15? Article 14 says every person is equal in context of law, and Article 15 says every person is equal in context of government. So according to Article 14, a government and a normal person are equal, and according to Article 15, in the context of government, every person are equal. Any state shall not discriminate with its citizens on the basis of religion, race, caste and place of birth. Next is Article 16. What does Article 16 says? Article 16 says equality of opportunity in matter of public employment. Means equal opportunities in context of employment. Every male and female have equal right in the form of opportunities in matters of public unemployment. Article 17 spread equality of to abolish of untouchability. So basically it abolished the untouchability which is still the part of society. Article 18 abolished the title except military and academic distinctions. What kind of title does Article 18 abolish? There are some titles which are given by the British, like Subedar, Raja, Maharaja, Sarpanch. These titles which are given by the Khan Bahadur, the any title which are given by the British to any Indians are abolished by Article 18 except military and academic title. Like there is a post in military Subedar, Padam Shri, Padam Vibhushan. These are academic distinct titles, and Subedar, Nambardar are the military titles. So apart of military and academic titles, all the titles will be abolished under Article 18. So our right to equality is our first fundamental right, which is explained in Article 14 to 18. The Article 14 says equality before law. Every person is equal in context of law. Article 15 says prohibition of discrimination on the ground of religion, race, caste, sex, or birth of place. Mean any state shall not discriminate with its citizens on the basis of religion, caste, and place of birth. Article 16 provide equal opportunity in matter of public employment. Article 17 abolish the untouchability in the society, and Article 18 abolish of the title which are given by British except military and academic titles. So this is equality to law or equal right to law. Clear? So Article 12 definition of state. Article 13, if a state make any law, if there is any pre-existing law which abolish fundamental right, will be count as or would be count as void only. Our second fundamental right is right to freedom. First fundamental right is right to equality. First, we all are equal, then we will get freedom through our constitution. So right to freedom is explained in between Article 19 to 22. So Article 19, 20, 21 and 22 explain about the right to freedom. Here we will discuss first Article 19. Basically in Article 19 there are 6 type of freedom which are include, means we all have these 6 type of freedoms in India, and these freedoms, these rights are our fundamental right. What is freedom? First, freedom of speech and expression. We can use the freedom of speech and we can express our views on any matter, whether it is politically or religiously. So first we have speech of expression according to Article 19. Then Article 19 also provide the freedom to assembly peacefully without arms. We can collect in any public place peacefully without arms. So it's also provide freedom to assembly peacefully without arms. Freedom to form association or union. We can collaborate with any other organization. Freedom to move throughout the territory of India. Before 2019, Jammu Kashmir was exceptional, but since 1st October 2019, we are now freely moved in Jammu Kashmir also. So freedom to move freely throughout the territory of India. Freedom to reside and settle in any part of the territory. Same with Jammu Kashmir, we were not able to freely settle in Jammu Kashmir before 2019, and in 31st of October 2019, when Jammu Kashmir became the union territory, now we are freely to reside and settle in any part of the Jammu Kashmir also. And freedom to practice any profession, carry any occupation, trade or business. What does it mean? It means first, free right to freedom. Article 19 provide us 6 type of freedom. One freedom is freedom of speech and expression. The second type of freedom is freedom to assembly peacefully without arms. The third freedom is association or union. The fourth is move freely throughout the territory of India. The fifth is freedom to reside and settle in any part or any territory of India. And sixth is we can adopt any occupation, whether we belongs to, like if I am Muslim, I can be a doctor. If I am Hindu, I can be adopted as a doctor, basically. So freedom to practice any profession, any occupation, any trade or any business which is legal in India. So this is what Article 19 explain. Clear? Article 20. Article 20. Article 19 is what this is what article which is abolished, which can be abolished during the time of emergency. If there is a national emergency situation in India, then we can abolish, or the parliament or article 358 says that the right to freedom will be abolished suddenly. And right to freedom, which article? Article 19 will be abolished first. So article 19 is that article which can be suspended during the time of national emergency in India. Next is article 20, which protect in respect of conviction of offense or crime. So it's provide some protection in conviction of offense or in related to offense. What kind of protection does Article 20 provide related to offenses? There are three terms which you have to understand. First is double jeopardy, second is self-incrimination, and third is retrospective. What is double jeopardy? Double jeopardy means if a person commit a crime, then he can imprison for a crime for only one time, or he can be punished one time for a crime. Let's suppose if a person slept to another person, and the punishment according to IPCI for a slap is 6 months. If a person is already basically completed his punishment, then he cannot be again punished for the same crime that he previously did. So double jeopardy means one punishment for one crime. So basically Article 20 provide protection against double jeopardy. Self-incrimination, that you cannot be witness to yourself. If you commit a crime and you are saying that I am not committing this crime, that this will not be count, because self-incrimination is prohibited according to Article 20. Retrospective means if you committed a crime today, then you will be punished by the punishment for today. If you slap a person today, and the crime for and the punishment for a slap today is 6 months imprisonment. Let's suppose your case is in court, and after 10 years court found you guilty and court punish you. Court cannot punish you on the basis of after 10 years punishment. He will punish you on the basis of that punishment when you committed crime. That is retrospective. So Article 20 provide protection in respect of conviction of offense. There are three types of protection which Article 20 provide. First is double jeopardy, means one imprisonment for one crime. Second is self-incrimination. You cannot witness yourself for any crime. And retrospective mean punishment will be given to that days, according to that days when you committed crime. Next is Article 21. Article 21 provide basically protection of life and personal liberty. You cannot kill any person. So this is the Article 21, which provide protection of life and personal liberty. There is also Article 21, which was later added in 86th Amendment Act 2002, which provide right to education or compulsory education for at least 6 to 14 years child. So Article 20 provide right to education for at least 6 to 14 years child. It was added by 86th Amendment Act 2002. The next is Article 22. It provide protection against arrest and detention in certain cases. Okay, Article 20 provide protection against conviction of crime, and 22 protection against arrest. Okay, what are the protection which Article 22 provide? Like, he provide you to right to basically hire a lawyer. If you are arrested, you can hire a lawyer. Provide a protection that if you are arrested, can be presented by the magistrate within 24 hours, or you should be informed why you are arrested. So these are some protection which Article 22 provides. Next is right against exploitation. The third fundamental right is right against exploitation under Article 23 and Article 24. Article 23, prohibition of traffic in human being and forced labor. Basically, this article prohibits the trafficking of human beings, the sale of child, the sale of girl, and also the forced labor. Article 24 provide prohibition of employment of children in factories, etc. Basically, according to Factories Act 1948, a person who is less than 14 years cannot work in the factories, and a person who is less than 16 years cannot work in a factory in night. The Factories Act 1948 says that the children less than 14 years cannot work in any factory, or a person less than 16 years cannot work in any factory in the night shift. Article 50. Then there is another act known as Mines Act 1952, which prohibit the child under 18 age in the work of mines. A child who is less than 18 years cannot work in mine, according to the Mines Act 1952. So this is right against exploitation. Right to freedom of religion. Article 25 to 28. Article 25 to 28 explain about the right to freedom of religion. Okay, there are four articles. Article 25, Article 26, Article 27, and Article 28, who explain about the right to freedom of religion. What does Article 25 says? Article 25 says freedom of concise and free profession, practice, and propagation of religion. You can free basic concise and free profession, you can practice in your profession, you can propagate of your religion according to yourself. Okay, if you belongs to any religion, you are free to adopt any profession according to Article 25. What does Article 26 says? Freedom to manage religious affairs. Means you can establish any religious institute according to you. Article 17 provide freedom as to payment of taxes for promotion of any particular religion. If you are promoting any particular religion, you are freedom to pay taxes on this basically particular location. And Article 28 freedom as to attend as religious instruction or religious worship in a certain educational institutions. So you can attend religious instruction or religious worship in a certain educational institution. Or also Article 28 prohibit that any central or state government organization or any particular central or state government organization school, the particular religious practice will not be teach. So fourth fundamental right, right to freedom of religion, Article 25 to 28. 25, according to Article 25, you can practice, propagate your religion, you can manage your religious affairs. 27, freedom to pay taxes of promotion of any particular religion. At 28, you can attend any religious instruction or religious worship in any certain educational institutions. Next is fifth is our cultural and educational right, Article 29 and Article 30. So basically, between Article 29 to 30, it explain about the cultural and educational right. What does Article 29 says? Article 29's protection of interest of minorities. So it provide the protection of interest of minorities. 30, right of minorities to establish and administer educational institute. So according to Article 30, the minorities have right to establish and administer educational institute according to their worship of their practice. So it explain about the cultural and educational right. 29 provide protection of interest of minorities, and 30 right of minorities to establish and administer educational institute. And our last fundamental right, sixth fundamental right, is right to constitutional remedies according to Article 32. Okay, right to constitutional remedies. B.R. Ambedkar said that right to constitutional remedies or Article 32 is the soul of fundamental right. This fundamental right protection against provide protection against above fundamental right, or Article 32 provide us to move freely in any Supreme Court or High Court against our fundamental right. If anyone abolish our fundamental right, then we through Article 32 we can directly move to Supreme Court and High Court. That's why this is known as the soul of fundamental right. So what is Article 32? The right to move the Supreme Court for the enforcement of fundamental rights, including the issuance of writs such as habeas corpus, mandamus, prohibition, quo warranto, and certiorari. So in next chapter, we will discuss about these three writs: quo warranto, habeas corpus, mandamus, prohibition, quo warranto, and certiorari, which can be issued by the Supreme Court and High Court. So in Article 32, it provides protection against abolishment of fundamental rights, and also it provides 5 type of writs. Clear? And the last right is right to property, which was removed by 44th Amendment 1978, and Article 31 deals with the right of property. Now this is a legal right under Article 300A of Part 12 of Indian Constitution. So these are the 6 fundamental rights. Originally, these were 7 fundamental rights. Let's quick revise the session. In this session, we discussed that in our original constitution, there were 7 fundamental rights. Now there are 6 fundamental rights in our constitution. The 7 fundamental rights are these. The first we have to understand Article 12 and 13. Article 12 explain the definition of state. Article 13 explain about that if there is any law who abolish our fundamental right, which we count as void. Article 14 to 18 explain about the right to equality. Article 14 said equality before law, all the person are equal in contact of law. 15, our state shall not discriminate his citizen on the basis of race, caste, sex or birthplace. 16, equality of opportunity in matter of public employment. 17, abolish the untouchability, and 18th, abolish some titles which are given by British except military and academic title. Second fundamental right is right to freedom between Article 19 to 22. 19 provides 6 type of freedoms. 20 provide conviction for offense. 21 right to life and liberty. 21A right to education, which was added in 86th Amendment 2002. 22 protection against arrest and detention. And next is 23rd and 24, the right against exploitation. The 23rd prohibits human trafficking, and 24 child employment. The fourth fundamental is right to freedom of religion, in which Article 25 we can free profession, practice and propagate of religion. 26 we manage religious affairs. In 27 free payment of taxes, and 28 we can attend any religious institution. Fifth, cultural and education right. In Article 29, it protects the interest of minorities, and 30 right of minorities to establish and administrate educational institute. And Article 6 of Part 6 of Article 32 is known as the soul of the fundamental right, which give protection against fundamental rights. Clear? So these are some fundamental rights, or 6 fundamental rights. I hope you like this video. Thank you.